Hello everyone, I'm SteampunkMiner and welcome back to Lands of Zankar. And as you can see, we're out in the middle, absolutely nowhere, 8,000 by 8,000 roughly, well, almost 9,000 in the X, which is really far away from Tinker's Reserve, but there's a reason we're out here. As you can see, we've got a swamp right there, we've got a flower forest right here, and we're standing right in a plains. So what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to actually be making that upgrade to the flower farm that I talked about way back then. I'm going to be building basically 4 mini versions of my old farm so that I can effectively get each of the different kinds of flowers I'm after. So I'll be able to get the blue orchids back there, I'll be able to get the tulips and the alliums from the flower forest, and I'll be able to gather the rest of it from the plains. So I'm going to set those all up effectively to be able to gather the 4 different variations that I need to focus on. Alrighty, so I have plotted out 4 different spots here. Let's go take a look, shall we? So over here I have bone mealed it until I found a decent patch of alliums, and then I've got the tulips right there next to it. Might have to adjust positioning slightly here and there just so I can fit in the necessary redstone parts. But yeah, that should work pretty well. These are currently 8x6 for the plains, the swamp, and the allium section. That should be sufficient enough for those 3, and also allow it only needing 1 set of bone meal, but I might also set it up for 2 anyways. We'll see. And then for the tulips, as you can see, I made a lot bigger of an area because, well, it's we need more space for that one. So let's take a look at that. Here, now we got rid of the nighttime there. We don't want to deal with mobs right now. But yeah, so the way that the tulips spawn is in a lot bigger patch, so if I want to get all 4 of them, I did need to make a little bit of a bigger section. Like I could try and do an 8x6 right here. In fact, that might even work right there because we've got some pink here. Maybe I'll test it with a smaller patch like these. In fact, if we did that, let's take a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if we did it right here, what would we have in our group here? Actually, that works quite well, and it should be only tulip. Okay, we'll have a little bit of other stuff, but anything that's excess, so for example, this oxide daisy right here, I'm just gonna send that into a composter. So all the seeds and all the extra flowers will go into compost. So we're only gonna need 4 shulker loaders for this one. We'll only need 1 for this one. And we're also going to only need 1 for the swamp. But the thing about the plains, since it does spawn all sorts of random flowers, let's see, I can't remember exactly how many different kinds there are. I'm going to have to verify that by looking it up, but I believe we have 1, 2, 3, 4 different kinds, maybe more. I'm trying to remember. There's quite a few flowers. We got the daisy, we've got the what is that one again? I forget that one. That's the azure something. We got our poppies. Let's see if we can get our cornflowers. So with all of these farms going, we're going to have our red dye, our 2 light gray dyes, our blue dye, our yellow dye. Then we have light blue dye here. Then over here we've got white, pink, red, and orange, and then right here we have our magenta dye. Alright, so I decided to start with the blue orchid farm. And the first thing I'm going to do is put pistons on the side here, on each side, so there's 8 on each side, using a total of 16. Then we're going to leave 1 gap on one side, and then we're going to put some blocks right over top of that. So that's going to totally enclose this section. So the next step we're going to want is probably set up our dispensers with the water buckets. So we're going to need to have that pushing down into one location. I think I'm going to have it go this way. And I might even have this one meet up there as well. We'll see. I'll have to mess around with the hopper location and the shulker loaders to see if I get the most efficient spot, which might be good to have both of these in the same area, so when I go down to gather it, I can access both of them. So I'll probably build it right here in the middle somewhere. Right, so as I was looking at this, I was just thinking about it. If I do 6, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I already made this one 7. That's interesting. Or is it 7 because I have 6? I'm confused. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, I made it 8 because I need an empty spot there. So our actual center point isn't a center point. Goodness. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I think if we just put a dispenser basically right in here, this is where our dispenser is going to go. That'll be good. I didn't want to do that yet. Okay, there we go, dispensers. Okay. So each farm is going to have a total of 3 dispensers. So I'm going to put one here. This is going to be the bone meal dispenser. And then we're going to have one on each side, probably right here. And as well as one right here. These will be the water dispensers. So there we go. That sets up that bit. We shouldn't need any more than just these 2. One thing we are going to want is to set up our locking mechanism like we did that one time, so that whenever there's water flowing across here, it doesn't go down here and mess up anything down below. Though I might even be able to set up just a layer of, oh no, we don't want anything going down here. So we do want these pistons to be locked open. And the reason for that is we don't want any of the flowers to fall down in between, right? Like, they might still do it a little bit, in the seeds and stuff. But this will help keep the water from flowing down there as well and messing things up. So, in fact, what we might even do... No, slabs will still mess up the grass, but it does appear that this... Ooh, I have an idea. I don't think I have any of it on me, but... I believe glass... I don't have any, do I? That's something I'm gonna have to go grab, but I'm pretty sure that if I use some glass over top of a grass block, it won't convert it into dirt. So if that will work, I might actually put a layer of glass along this side so that it won't mess it up. Yeah, I think that might actually work. So we put a layer of glass along each edge. It could protect it, but it does limit our space, right? Because it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But just make it a 6, which I think would be okay. Because we don't need this necessarily to spawn stuff. These are actually extra spacing just for the pistons to be able to move things back and forth. I think I'll have to try that. Let me go grab some glass and put it in there. And then we'd have hopper there, hopper there. Now this will split the bone meal up perfectly, so if I drop that 50 in there, it'll split it between the 2 dispensers. It's super nice to be able to do that. I can load this up easy. Check here now, we've got 16 in there, and we've got 25 there. Now 25 there, so it's perfectly split. There we go. So there's our bone meal input section. Now, if I'm going to have my water flowing down like I have it showing here, this would be where the hoppers would line up. So I actually probably need to switch the spot at which these dispensers will push things out, or I got to adjust the pathing of the hopper line here for this, because if I want all of my stuff to drop down the middle here, I'm going to have my hopper collection systems be on these 2 spots here. So I would need the hoppers to be... Wait, this is where the last one would be? Yeah. So this is where I would have my hoppers, if I can get back up there. So we do need to reroute that so that that does not run into this line at all. So it would have to go... Ooh, this is a bit tricky. I guess I would need my bone meal inputs to be separate then. Let's have one on each end over here. That might be more efficient for space, because if I put the bone meal chest here, for example, I should be able to reroute redstone. And I shouldn't need to do too much digging to get to that dispenser. Yeah, there it is. So if I did that here, 1, 2, 3, 4, put the space in, 5, and then we do one here. Oop. As I dig way too much. Okay, so then that would be there. And we could simply drop the chest in there rather than having it over there. So I think that's going to be the better alternative because we want all of our stuff to drop in on this section. So we'll remove these. So this would come down into a little item sorter that will change between seed and blue orchids. And then this one would come down. We're going to make a sorter that would have the seeds and the 5 different flowers that we'd have there. Alright, as I was figuring some things out here, I did realize that I actually don't need this on both sides. I only need it on the one side that's going to need a locking mechanism to lock it out while the water flows. But also, if I'm putting glass across the top, I'm not even going to need the locking mechanism at all, so I don't even have to use all these repeaters and redstone. Because the way that I designed the farm originally was with observers powering all the pistons from below. So that's what I'm going to do. Alright, here we go. I've got the setup installed over here. We are losing a couple of flowers down here because I haven't fully finished the top there. We'll get to that in a moment. But if we take a look up here now, every time I activate this, it's really loud, but it will break it and plant it at the same time. So that's the first functional part done, which is awesome. The next thing I need to do is actually, I still haven't gone back for glass yet, but if I go back for glass and I cover up this section and that section, we won't have any trouble with the stuff, the flowers and stuff falling out. And then I got both of those set up with the bone meal drop, so I'm just gonna do that. Super easy to drop that in there. The next step is going to be setting up the filters and the shulker loaders, as well as the timings for the water here. Alrighty, I believe I have this all set up to work now. So if I flip this lever, it should push them back and forth and be breaking things. This one is not functioning correctly. What did I miss on this one? Redstone goes here, activates there, it should be... Oh. It'd help if I have the observers in, right? Okay, all the observers are in now. That's good. So now it should... Boom. Except I'm missing this row for some reason. What did I miss there? Probably a piece of redstone. Or... oh, like a derp? Yep, I did. Oh, not like that. I need an observer here. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna give you guys a little progress update here. So we have now got this section good here. Oh, I actually need to remove this. This one's all set, didn't have to change anything with this. This one, unfortunately, I put it 1 block too high, so the little hopper line here that's supposed to let things travel through over top of the sorting system was 1 too high, so it was going to cause problems up there. So I had to move everything down 1 block. Then I've got this section here, where this is where the entrance will be, so I can travel between each of the sections. Got a bed here, and this is also where I'm going to put the pressure plate to be able to go AFK. And then if you go over here, I've got this one set up, and I'm currently sorting out how to add in this next one. Yep, dude. That's what you get for griefing. You get buried in freaking sand. Oh, and I'm being attacked. Help! Well, I ran out of stuff. I need observers. I forgot about that. Oh, well, this is pretty typical for me, right? You know, trying to make a build and then realizing I don't have enough things. So I need to go buy some observers if we have any for sale. If not, I've got to go craft some. So I gotta go get those. I'll go grab some hoppers while I'm at it, and I shall be back. Alrighty, here we go. I did a little test. So we should be seeing flowers in all of these sections now. Let's dig down a little bit here so we can access these. So we got nothing there, we got white ones there, we got orange there, we got pink there. Okay, let's see, what was the last one there? That is the red tulip. Alright, didn't see any there, but we are getting bone meal, so that seems to be working there. Let's go check the other side. We might just be getting unlucky and not getting very many red tulips. Okay, how about this? Yep, cornflower, poppy. Reach that end one. Doesn't look like it can. Okay, well, yep. Okay. That's looking great. We should be getting... Oh, this doesn't have a spot for bone meal yet. I need to put a chest in here. I happen to have some on me. I do indeed. Okay, awesome. I'll put a chest right there for the bone meal. Alrighty. Let's take a look here. Yep, that's good. We know this one's good. So we just need to check to see if the red tulips have gone up at all, and I believe it has. I was watching with my cam account just to make sure things are all functioning, and yep, it is indeed. This is not going as fast as these other ones are, but that's okay. Alright, cool. If I really need red tulips, I guess I can use my other farm. But that's going to be it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed this one, and yep, we got this functioning with all 4 flowers, so this should be way more efficient with the output of the flowers. So, yeah, we got a hopper clock down there underground that will be triggering the water on and off. I do need to do a few more upgrades to this. I need to kind of clean up and cover up the redstone there as much as possible. Probably switch it out so that I can have it hidden completely. I might even be able to just rotate the observer and have redstone on top of it, so when it activates it'll just shoot through there. I think that's what I'm doing. I might even replace this completely and put the observer right here. I think that could work. And then I also need to cover up the hoppers. I need to put something over the top so like the mobs won't get in here and get drops into the system and muck it all up. So yeah, that's gonna be probably something we'll do in the next episode. Get a nice build around this, maybe even get a decent little area for our AFK, clean up the tunnels down there, just make this look a lot nicer. Maybe even set up another squid farm there and a cactus farm just up on the hill there, so we can get almost all the dyes. And I'll definitely consider cocoa beans as well, so I can get every single dye all in this area. So if I ever need dyes, I just come here and then I can get everything I need. And in the future, we'll open a shop with all of these awesome dyes and flowers and whatnot, and I'll be able to sell both variants. For example, I'll do this little yellow flower here, and also do sunflowers as well as yellow dye. So I'll have all 3 things available. So if anybody wants flowers for doing some aesthetic builds, they'll be accessible right there in large quantities. Alright, I want to say thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one. I know it was a little more technical and kind of blah 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 compared to some of my other ones, and it's a little bit of a repeat from the previous flower farm, but it's a more optimized version, and yeah, I think this will be good. So once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye!